We got to get better. This ain't going to get at that effort. And we've seen him, happy and jovial and relaxed in post-game press conferences after. Last night, he basically sat there and said, look, we got killed. It was my fault, but we're okay. We're going to get back to work. We're going to do what we do, and we're going to try to go win a game on Saturday. And I think he realizes, look, that was a buzzsaw. They're better than us, and that's unfortunate tonight, but we don't play them again for another couple of weeks, and then we may not play them again at all. And that how we stack up against that team doesn't necessarily dictate how the rest of this thing's going to go. So you got to pick your guys up who are obviously shell-shocked after that. I mean, that'll take you down a peg, getting run off the floor like that, and they've got to recover.
Okay, so you mentioned I know we have to take a break, but you mentioned that LSU doesn't match up great with Alabama. Is there any team in the conference that matches up with them? Is Tennessee the only one?
So Tennessee can guard them.
Can guard them.
And they held them down. And Auburn shot with them.
Yeah.
Auburn lost that game 93-90, and so they scored with them. They couldn't stop them, but they scored with them. So we'll see. That one concerns me for LSU too. I'll have to look a little bit closer into that one with Auburn when LSU matches up with them. But outside of that, no. I mean, who are the better teams in the conference? Florida, Tennessee. They can't really do that. I mean, Florida's got a couple good shooters. Like Man can get going a little bit, and Locke can shoot it, but it doesn't look like that.
Alabama being good at basketball is not something I need right now.
Well, and I'll tell you the other thing before we get to a break, their defense was good too.
It was.
And there's something we need to talk about. One thing I see in the LSU offense that needs to change.
All right, we've got, like I said, a big show planned for today. Paul Mainieri at 12:30, Dr. Etheridge from Brock at 1 o'clock. We've got John Brady at 1:30 and Cole Cubelic at 2:30. Don't go anywhere. Still a lot to come here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
Are we brought to you by Garcia Roofing? You can find them online at garciadidmyroof.com. They are your trusted home improvement experts in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, and in Lafayette. Something we try to tell you about every single day is what they can do for you, which is everything, right? You know they can do the roof replacements. You know they can do commercial roofing. But please do not forget about the small things. They can handle those as well, and they're happy to do so, and they're going to back it up with their Garcia guarantee, just like they do the major projects. So we're talking about roof cleaning. We're talking about roof repairs. If you just have a small leak, as you know, that small leak can turn into a big leak, so make sure you get ahead of that. And if you're not sure, free roof inspections from Garcia Roofing. I tell you all the time, I took advantage of it, saved thousands of dollars for me. They can do it for you as well. Again, garciadidmyroof.com. Roof now, pay later. Any questions you have, pick up the phone, give them a call, 225-756-3100.
Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. So with Ryan Nielsen out, where does LSU go next in its defensive coordinator search? And we'll recap LSU Bama and Hoops. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda here on a Wednesday afternoon. And of course, most of our show yesterday, we were talking about LSU and their defensive coordinator search, and Ryan Nielsen being blocked by the Saints, and then after that getting a 3-year deal and going to be the assistant head coach. And now you're looking for the next candidate. Who else is going to step in? Haven't heard a lot on that front. Obviously, you're regrouping because this is a candidate that they had really the first time they rolled out candidates. I mean, this was a name that was attached to it. And, you know, diving into the story, and I know there's been a lot of discussion of who to blame and who's at fault. I know that there was, you know, an agent that thought he could get it done and thought the language would be something that they could work around, and you don't get it done there. And so now Ryan Nielsen, because the Saints valued him, let's call it like it is. The Saints valued him. They know what he is and who he can be. And they decided to give him an assistant head coaching title and new responsibilities within the Saints. And so I think that if you're LSU, you have to now wait, be patient, find a new group, because, you know, the group that you just went through, obviously it didn't work out. And we could go through the list. Our listeners know the list. They know some of the reasons why. And so now you are tasked with finding another group and finding the right fit for LSU, because I don't think now, we talked about timeline a bunch over the last couple of days. Now's the time to, okay, unless they already have that group, let's get our group together. Let's give this 4 or 5 days and figure out who the best fit for us is.
What do you think I'm going to say to start my thoughts?
I don't know. Who is
it's the same thing I've said for a week now. Having someone turn you down is not nearly as bad as hiring someone who is bad. There are plenty of human beings who can coach a defense well. LSU's got good players. They will continue to have good players. They need a good coach. And because one coach that you identify as a good one turns you down, doesn't mean there's not another one. So I realize that this could have been handled cleaner. And certainly LSU has looked at guys that they are not going to end up hiring first. So it doesn't look great, but the optics don't really matter. And the result is what matters. And so my sincere hope is that they start turning over some more rocks and find a really good qualified candidate that wants to be here at LSU and wants to run the defense. It's interesting to me how transparent this search has been. From as far as literally talking about it on the radio, from inside the building, coming on, discussing candidates. telling the radio station when people are coming in. It's interesting. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just generally not the way that it's done. But again, I'll reserve judgment on this whole process until it's done.
Yeah.
Yes, it could have been cleaner. Yes, there are guys they wanted first, but tell me who the result is, and then I'll tell you what I think about it.
Let me ask you this. Do you have a mold? Do you have a type? Do you want to see it be a certain age? Do you want it to be a certain recruiting style?
No.
Do you want, what's your
I want someone who has spent a lot of time dealing with offenses that have 4 and 5 wide receivers on the field with good players, and they're throwing it all over the place. I want someone who has seen that at this level before, whether they were a position coach, whether they were a coordinator, whether they've seen it at the NFL level based on the systems that they've been in or played around. I want someone who's seen this a lot, because that is what this league has become. I think if you injected true serum into everyone, the Jimbo would still like to get a physical offensive line and pound the football dead ahead.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is looking around going, both Mississippi schools are certainly spreading it and going. Bama's full-fledged into that. Yeah. I don't know enough about Brian Harsin, but
he's spreading it out.
He's going to, something tells me that they're going to do that. Mullen is spreading the field. He grew up in the original stuff that Urban Meyer did that we didn't think was ever going to work. So that someone who has seen that. At this point, I would rather someone who's 37, but someone who's 52 can do that. So I don't.
Yeah,
that's
it
not
depends
a
on where it depends on where they've been the last 10 years,
right.
Where they've been the last 5 years. So the NFL has changed. So if you want to go to the NFL, okay, that's fine. There's enough principles where I think in the right situation you can find the right coach, and especially if his offense runs what you're talking about, they've practiced against it every single day. That part of it would be intriguing to me. But what you're talking about is going to get someone who not only has learned the spread, but has been raised by the spread, that knows the spread, that knows what it's like to go to 7-on-7 tournaments or 7-on-7 situations and have to stop it on air when you have everything stacked against you. And I also want what you talked about. Now, age isn't a huge factor. If you've done it, you've done it. I don't really care how old you are. It's more about what your resume says. But also, and I've said it over the last couple of days, I want someone who can recruit his ass off. I know that position, when you look at it, has not been a position where you've had a big-time recruiter. It just hasn't. Bo's not a big-time recruiter. Dave wasn't a big-time recruiter. Third and Chavis wasn't a big-time recruiter. We know that. Muschamp actually did a pretty nice job. That was a long time ago. Muschamp was a young guy back then. He's still pretty young. I'm not hanging on because Will might come in here and tear his shirt off and wrestle all of us, okay? So for me, I think that's big. I think you want someone who connects with his recruits before they ever get to campus. They have a relationship. They know each other. They can talk about whatever under the sun in the locker room in passing because that's part of their relationship. They relate to each other. They can share common things. Mm-hmm. To me, that's important because the best coaches in recruiting do those things. There's some college recruiters, and I know it's changed completely since I was getting recruited, that were so bad at their job, I wondered how in the world they were able to get on a plane and come to this school and give out that speech. When I was getting recruited by Oklahoma, their guy came down and told me everything I wanted to hear. And then I started to ask him some questions, right? I said, how do you value the fullback position? Because I knew I was going to play fullback when I first got to college. He's like, I think J.D. Runnels, our fullback on our rosters, one of, if not the best players on our roster overall. He's just a football player. I was like, great. I was like, what's his deal? He's like, he's a redshirt freshman. I'm like,
oh, really?
So you're going to tell me that you think one of your best overall players, if not the best, on your team is the position I play, and he's a redshirt freshman. I'm all about competition, but is that really how you want to be selling your program? Yeah. And then he figured out what he said. Louisiana Tech offered me over my answering machine. They offered me over my answering machine, never called back, and that's what they did. Same thing the Auburn Tigers did. Offered me over my answering machine. So there's some people that just don't get it. And there's some people that get it, and that's why they're really good at their job. That's why they continue to climb the ladder, because they know if I create this relationship early, and you're going to miss on some guys that you have a relationship with, there's no question about it. Like when Les and his staff came down here, it was great for me because I already had a relationship with them from when they were at Oklahoma State and they recruited me. So you're going to have some that don't work out, and you're still going to have a relationship. Coach Drake from Texas, who unfortunately passed away, but he recruited me in Texas. Had a great relationship with him and well into my NFL career. When we played Chicago Bears, I go talk to Coach Drake for 30 minutes, right? So I want somebody who has that, somebody who can build those relationships that last, that they can relate with, that they can, whatever that they're saying, the student athlete understands it, and they can translate that to the field. There's a trust, there's a bond, there's a chemistry.
You'll get that out of references and then track record, body of work, and then a little bit in terms of demeanor in a introductory press conference. What I don't care about is when the person gets up on an intro press conference and says, we're going to be attacking, we're going to be aggressive, we're going to dictate what we do to the offense, we're going to use our talent, it's okay. I get every cliche you can possibly spit out. I don't care what you say in the press conference. Just give me the results on the field. And so I just want someone who's familiar with what they're going to see when they come down here to LSU and play these elite teams in college football.
All right, obviously this is going to be something that we continue to talk about throughout the day. We do need to take a break right now because when we come back, the head baseball coach from LSU, Paul Mainieri, joins us to talk SEC scheduling and gives a small preview on his team. That way Hunt can calm down a little bit and he knows some of the names and what to expect from LSU baseball. That when we come back here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Join us for a Wednesday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Snow, Seafood, and Steak in Gonzales. We recap LSU basketball's big game against Alabama and look ahead to the rest of the week. Come out and see us or tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. No Hanny today. We do have a Hunt, and I know Hunt's looking forward to this just like I am. Joining us now, Paul Mainieri, the head baseball coach of your LSU Tigers, joins us. Coach, how you doing? It's been a while.
Hey, Jacob. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing well, and I know that you have just got to be just salivating right now, getting on a baseball field, actually playing a game after what's probably the longest layoff you've ever been through.
Isn't that the truth? Truer words have never been spoken. I just can't believe it's been since March 11th that we've played a game against another team, and now we're a month away from finally getting to play somebody again. But it's just been nice to be on the field. As you said, the weather's been pretty good for us at the start here of individual practices. We've had a couple of chilly days, but for the most part, the weather's been nice, and seeing the guys running around and taking swings and fielding balls and throwing balls, it's been great. So February 19th can't get here soon enough.
All right, Coach, so we've learned some information on what the SEC schedule and what the schedule as a whole is going to look like now. And I know there's probably a lot of different things that were tossed out as ideas, but at the end of the day, it looks like what a normal schedule would look like, correct?
We talked in circles for months, and we threw everything out on the table. We talked about the option of playing 14 weekends of SEC play, 4-game weekend series, so the entire 56-game schedule being all conference, just like football was. We talked about 12 weekends with 3 or 4 games. We talked about 10 weekends with 3 or 4 games. At the end of the day, we just felt as a coaching group and with the commissioner's guidance that it was important for us to continue to play non-conference games because that's one of the things that the SEC has excelled in through the years is winning the majority of our winning the majority of our non-conference games, which has enhanced our RPI as a conference, which has allowed as many as 8 or 9 teams to get into the NCAA tournament. If all of a sudden you're playing just conference games, it'd be like playing in the major leagues where half the teams are going to end up under 500 and not get accepted into the NCAA tournament. And so, you're going to have 5 to 7 SEC teams in the NCAA tournament instead. So ultimately we felt that it was safe enough if we follow the protocols that this was the best route to go. And I can't say that I'm disappointed. I think it's a good way to go.
Coach, college baseball is just about the last sport to resume after things halted. We started with international soccer and then the NBA and Major League Baseball figured out, and football's been, it's had some bumps, but they've gotten through it on both levels. Have you and your colleagues in college baseball talked to people from other sports about how to navigate through a season with all these new protocols?
We've shared ideas with each other, and we've also talked to other coaches of other sports, and I think we're getting a pretty good grasp on it. But the virus, it's going to do what it wants to do, and sometimes the best laid plans don't work, and we're just going to have to be flexible and deal with it. We came back, from winter break and tested the kids the first day they were back here, and of course we had to deal with some situations right out of the gate. So, we put together a schedule. We released the schedule at noon yesterday. At 2 o'clock, I got a phone call from Cal Riverside, and they had to cancel the series coming to Baton Rouge. So I've been spending the last 12 hours or so trying to find a replacement. We couldn't not have games the second weekend of the season. So this is just the way everything is going to be this spring. Everybody's got to be flexible and understanding and do the best that we can. Hopefully our players will show a lot of self-discipline and do the things that they're supposed to do, and the schools that we're going to be playing will do the same so that we can play a semi-normal schedule this spring.
I know that NCAA basketball, Will Wade has told us that you have to play 13 games to be admitted to postseason tournaments. Has there been any sort of discussion like that with you all?
Yes, but the number is very low. I can't even remember what it is. It's so low. It was either 18 games or something like that. But when you schedule 56, you shouldn't have any trouble meeting the standard. So I didn't even pay much mind to it, quite frankly, because if we didn't play the minimum amount of games, it would be a disaster this spring.
All right, Coach, so the former player in me always wonders, okay, with the schedule changes, is the player body going to be where it needs to be? And some people would hear that and say, wait a minute, they've had extra time. And when you get thrown off your routine, as you well know, we are creatures of habit. We have a routine. We've done this routine for so many years in a row. And so they've had some extra time. Were you worried at all that their bodies wouldn't necessarily be where you wanted them to be coming into the season just because you did have that extra time? You didn't have really the summer baseball and everything that you know to have leading up to a season?
Jacob, I think there's a lot of merit to that, but I also think it is what it is.
Right.
We can complain all we want to about we didn't have this or didn't have that, but I choose to look at the cup as being half full. We were able to have fall practice. It got delayed. We were supposed to start September 10th. We didn't start till September 30th. But once we got started on September 30th, we didn't have a single interruption due to COVID for isolation or quarantine until we finished on November the 6th. So I count ourselves as really one of the lucky teams. We were able to get a lot done. We found out a lot about our team, and now we started back last week, and we with individual practices. Our full squad practices don't begin until January 29th, so a week from Friday will be our first scrimmage. But at this point, I feel good about where our team is physically and how guys are handling everything. So again, we're in that mode where you just can't make excuses. You just got to deal with whatever comes your way, meet it head on, and overcome it, because it's going to be the same for most teams.
Paul Mainieri joining us here, hanging with Hester and Hanny. Coach, we're talking about getting bodies ready to go, and it appears, based on some of the things that we've read, that Cade Beloso is a guy who's changed his body a little bit and maybe changing positions. What can you tell us about what he may look like in the outfield?
Well, we made this move because I think we have a really special player
right.
in Trey Morgan, a young man out of Brother Martin High School in New Orleans, and Trey just has grabbed all of our attention. He swings the bat really good. He's perhaps going to be our three-hole hitter, but his work with the glove at first base really stands out. I know that's weird to hear somebody talk about the defense of a first baseman, because it's probably the least important defensive position on the field, is the way I've always looked at it. But when you have somebody that's tremendous over there, they can save a lot of errors from your infielders at short, third, and second base by picking balls in the dirt and having wide range. So because he's so outstanding, I just thought, we need to try to get him in there at first base. And Cade has worked really hard. He's trimmed down. Listen, he's never going to be an Olympic champion sprinter, and he's never, going to be a Gold Glove winner in the outfield, but he's worked really hard. And we've had some good fortune in past years. Ray Frimes came to us as a second baseman. We moved him to left field, and just through sheer hard work, he made himself into a pretty decent, serviceable left fielder. I could say the same thing about Greg Dykman, who came to us as an infielder. We moved him to right field. Zach Watson was moved from the infield to the outfield. So I think it's something that Cade Beloso will take a lot of pride in. He's working very hard. Nolan Kane, our assistant coach who works with the outfielders, is working him extremely hard. And I think he's going to make himself into a serviceable outfielder. And perhaps, late in the game, if we need to, we can go to a more experienced outfielder for defensive purposes if we're fortunate enough to have a lead.
Coach, yesterday Hunt and I were talking about some of the rotations around the SEC, and obviously we included LSU in one of those rotations that was worth talking about. I know going into the season you probably feel pretty good about where you're at, and also getting guys back like a Matthew Beck, who's done so many different things on the mound for you in different situations.
Well, I certainly didn't think, this time last year that when we were talking in 2021 in the month of January, I'd be talking about guys like Matthew Beck and Aaron George, who were seniors last year, or supposed to be seniors in their last year of eligibility. I didn't think we'd be talking about A.J. Labus or Devin Fontenot or Mikhail Hilliard. I thought all these guys would have been gone in pro ball or having graduated, but we have them all back. So it's exciting to have those guys back, to have such veterans on the pitching staff. But around the league, everybody can say the same thing. So it's all relative. We're going to be better. We're going to be deeper. We're going to be talented on the mound, but so is everybody else we're going to play in our conference. And so it really always comes down to, just like it does in all the sports in the SEC, how do you play on a given day? How do you pitch? How do you hit? How do you play defense? How do you run the bases? And hopefully we play better than the other team.
And you've had plenty of guys who were relievers at one point in their career and starters at another point in their career. Either way, Kurt McCune comes to mind. A bunch of guys have done it. Lewis Coleman's done it as well. But the career trajectory of Hess and Hill is so similar. Did you learn anything from Zach's transition from one role to another over a year that you can impart on Jaden?
Well, they're totally different guys. Zach had the DNA of a relief pitcher. I mean, he was a very emotional guy out there. It was a maximum effort. He was giving it everything he got on every pitch, and he was pretty much a two-pitch pitcher, fastball and a slider. The truth be told, Zach, we were very fortunate he even came to college. Okay, he could have signed professionally out of high school, but he wanted to go to college because he was already being pigeonholed as a relief pitcher. And all pitchers want to be starting pitchers because that's where the big money is in the major leagues. And so we told him, we're going to give you an opportunity to prove that you can be a starting pitcher. You remember as a freshman, he and Eric Walker were fighting for the 3-hole behind Poche and Lang. And Eric Walker won the Sunday job, but we started Hess in the middle of the week. We put him into the bullpen out of necessity when we started to have a couple of injuries, and he was phenomenal in Omaha in his freshman year. And then, of course, we moved him into the rotation because he was one of the better arms we had, and it was something we wanted to do with him. We told him we would try to do that coming out of high school. But really it was trying to fit a square peg into a round hole the whole time. And I think Zach realized that at some point. Now he's back in the bullpen. That's going to be his forte going into professional baseball. But Jaden Hill's different than that. Jaden Hill commands 3 different pitches. Really 4. He's got a 4-seam fastball. He's got a 2-seam fastball. He's got a curveball, and he's got an excellent changeup. So he's got the ability to throw a lot of strikes with 3 or 4 different pitches, and he's such a good athlete on the mound that he'll field his position well, and he'll do a lot of the other things that starting pitchers really need to do that come into play a lot when you pitch a lot of innings. So the only question I have with Jaden is his endurance, only because he hasn't done it yet. He got hurt after 2 outings his freshman year, and then last year we were starting to stretch him out when the season got canceled. He had stretched out the 4 innings in a relief opportunity the last weekend before the season ended. So there's no reason why he can't be stretched out. There's no reason why he can't fit this mold. And I think Jaden will prove to be a really good starting pitcher and end up being a high draft choice.
Coach Paul Mainieri is our guest here on Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Coach, we heard from A&M yesterday about what their capacity could be at their baseball stadium. Anything that y'all have talked about having over at the box?
We've talked about it internally. I don't know if they've made an announcement, but it's not really hard to figure out, Jacob, if you just look around the other sports and what they've been doing. So my guess is it's going to be somewhere around 25% capacity, which will be around 2,500 people. It's kind of sad to say those numbers. At most schools, 2,500 people a game in college baseball is considered an enormous crowd. But, of course, here at LSU, we're used to having 10 or 11,000 up to 12,000 people in a game. And this is going to be quite a change for us. But you know what? The kids have to play the game because they love it, whether fans are there or not. It shouldn't affect the play. I mean, the major leaguers played in front of empty stadiums this year, so if they could do it, our guys should be able to handle it as well. Who I feel bad for are the fans. It's such a big part of so many people's lives, just like LSU football is. And for them not to be able to go to football games or basketball games or baseball games is a huge adjustment in everybody's lifestyle. So I know that a letter is going out, if it hadn't already gone out, to the season ticket holders, and they'll know the situation. I think it might have gone out today, actually, and we'll see what ends up happening. But it's an adjustment for everybody.
Coach, we always appreciate the time. I know we all are looking forward to February the 19th, taking on Air Force, the 20th Notre Dame, and the 21st Louisiana Tech opening weekend over at the box. I know you can't wait. Nobody Can't wait. It's been a long time coming for LSU baseball, Coach.
Well, thanks, Jake. Hunt, good to be with you guys. Thanks for
Coach.
having me on.
All right, there he is, the head baseball coach for the LSU Fighting Tigers, Coach Paul Mainieri.
He gives good answers. That Hill Hess answer was great.
It was.
Again, it doesn't matter how you handle the media, really. As long as you win, everyone loves you. If you lose, everyone doesn't like you. But he gives good answers.
I know. I like it. And he's transparent with his answers as well, which is something that we always appreciate. Like I said, I mean, it will almost be a full calendar year since we've seen LSU baseball take the field. I know maybe more than anybody in this city, you're looking forward to it, but I cannot wait to get back into the box. And 2,500 people in that stadium is not what we know it to be, but it's still 2,500 people in that stadium can still make an impact and still have a feel of a in-game situation with the crowd behind you.
Sure. I can't wait. There's a lot that I'd like to react to that interview, but yeah, 2,500 people.
You'd like to react to that interview?
I would.
How about we do this? Take a break, and then we'll
Sounds
do
great.
so on the other side. We'll be back. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Zonda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Off the Bench, Hangin' with Hester and Hanny, after further review and more, are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, US.
Hey, it's Musso. Join us for Thursdays Off the Bench. Chef Michael Johnson will stop by to answer all your munchie questions. We look at the Saints salary cap heading into 2021, and Jarrett Roser stops by to talk recruiting. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Honda here on a Wednesday afternoon. If you missed our conversation with Coach Paul Mainieri, that will be on demand, brought to you by Richard's Honda, of course. I had one takeaway. Well, I had multiple takeaways, but obviously you're our baseball guy, so I'll let you do it. The one that I did take away was the series with UC Riverside being canceled, looking for a new opponent. That is only week 2 of the schedule. I still think they'll be able to find someone. As Coach said, he's been on the phone the last 12 hours trying to find somebody, basically, and they might get it done, and it's important that they do get it done. It is the second week of the season. You want to go ahead and get as many games as you possibly can.
And it'll probably be a situation where if things fall through, you need to have some teams on call. Southern, Southeastern, Nichols, ULL.
Very fortunate that
can bus in and out.
Yeah, you're fortunate
even if it's a weekend.
That the teams that we have available for a bus ride over are pretty good baseball teams.
Yeah.
UL Lafayette and where they've been, even some of the Southland teams, like where they've been and what that would do for your final rankings and stuff. Like, that's not going to absolutely tear it down if you had to do something and get them.
And again, I think, we'll just have to see who teams can schedule and who they can play. But one thing on the field that I thought was interesting is he was talking about Trey Morgan at first base, and they like the way he swings the bat, but they love him at first base defensively. And he was like, he was saying that most people don't think that's that important. And yeah, it's a place where you would hide somebody, quote unquote, if you had to have their bat in there and you didn't have a DH spot. But having a good first baseman is a big deal.
The reigning NL MVP is a pretty good one.
I watched the best defensive first baseman on the planet for my team, and it's incredible how many runs he saves. And it's even more amplified in college because your defenders are less skilled. Don't roll. He's won 4 of the last 5 Gold Gloves, including one that was an analytical one that wasn't even subjective. So it's easy.
Keep talking. I'm researching. Keep talking.
And so that's a big deal. We'll see if Beloso can play in the outfield. There are some other options out there with the Giacomo and Cruz and Dugas and obviously Mo Hampton if he comes out there. Like, there are some other options, and maybe Cade's maybe the DH. But it's having a good first baseman. That's a big deal.
We had a lot to get to with Coach Mainieri, and so much of what I wanted to get into was the attendance and the scheduling and what the team looks like, because it's been since March, and we've got to have him back because I want to talk players, and I want to talk about guys that we've got questions about, like a Maurice Hampton. Like, what's his role going to be? Because for me personally, he played more than I thought he would last year before he got injured. I thought they rolled him out there way more than I thought.
In baseball?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was out there pretty quick. I mean, you're trying to get a feel for talent. He's got some gifts that some of the other guys out there don't have in terms of speed, some quick hands, some power. But he struggled at times because, as you might expect, not having an entire fall to get ready to play baseball and playing football into middle of January makes things a little tough.
Gold Glove first baseman in the NL in 2018 was Freddie Freeman. So I'm just saying,
4 of the last 5.
Yeah, well, MVP this year was Freddie Freeman.
Well, that's good. He hit a lot better than Rizzo this year. We're talking defense.
He's pretty good defensive first baseman.
He's good defensive first baseman.
I'm just saying. And going back to it, because we could argue Cubs and Braves all day, a question that we'll ask him as we get closer to the season when we have him on here in a couple of weeks is the middle infield is a big question, obviously, for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think Cade Doty and Zach Arnold are your leaders right now, but Collier Cranford's got a real chance to play, and I think Jordan Thompson's a pretty good freshman too, so there's some options.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Dr. Etheridge from Brock will join us. We're going to talk NFL injuries and more with Doc here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard's Hunt.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome in hour number 2, Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda here on a Wednesday afternoon. Hunt Palmer in for Hanny, of course, Josh Ward and Paul O'Neill. keeping us on air on the ones and twos. And now Dr. Stephen Etheridge from Baton Rouge Orthopedic here with us now, as he is every Wednesday, a little bit earlier today. You know, things happen.
That's right.
But glad to have you as always. A lot of injuries to talk about. Let's go ahead and get right into them. There's a quarterback in Kansas City. He's pretty good. Don't know if you heard him, Patrick Mahomes.
I heard he lost the Texas Bowl.
He did. He did lose the Texas Bowl. That was a butt weapon. So we'll get to the concussion stuff. That is very serious, and we'll get to that. But he's also dealing with turf toe. In full disclosure, I have heard turf toe thrown around locker rooms so many times. I've heard of my teammates having it. I still don't know what in the world turf toe is.
So, yeah, turf toe, it is a common injury. You do hear about it a lot. And I think to a lot of the times you hear that, you're like, oh, it's just a toe injury. It's not a big deal. But what turf toe technically is it's a sprain of the large joint at the base of your big toe. So it's called your metatarsophalanges joint there, the first one.
Yep, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, the MTP joint. We'll keep it simple. But it's a sprain of that joint usually happens when that toe gets hyperextended, so it gets bent back. You know, so if you think about football especially, you're pushing off, it's an easy injury. There are some other diagnoses that sometimes get lumped in with that. You know, if you strain some of those tendons, or sometimes you have what's called sesamoiditis. But a lot of big toe things, because the big toe is really a big deal. You know, I think when you really think about trying to push off of that, and I can remember being just a fan of sports. And I remember Deion Sanders had one. I'm like, why is this guy missing a game?
I remember hearing about him forever.
And it's like, why is this guy out for the turf toe? You know, to me, is not understanding it. But then you realize it can be a really painful injury. It can be very difficult, especially at your skill positions. You know, if you're one of the big linemen, we'll just put a little extra little fiber carbon insole on their shoe. We'll tape it up real good. And it still affects them for sure. But, you know, these skill guys that are up on their toes a lot, especially a defensive back or even with a quarterback.
Yeah, pushing off your foot there, obviously, when you're getting into your throws. I heard them on the radio earlier today say they'll put a cleat that's a size too big and put a steel toe into the cleat there. I mean, what does that do for you? Is the steel toe just so you don't step on it?
So yeah, you're trying to protect it as much as you can. You don't want to get stepped on, or if you do, at least protect it. And then a lot of times what we'll do is we'll get these insoles that go under. I mentioned it's usually a thin fiber and carbon insole, and what it does is it just prevents, you know, if you want to get a shoe and you bend the toe, how flexible that area is. So you take some of that flexibility out. And again, if you think about hyperextending the toe, so at the very, very least, usually we'll put one of those in the shoe. If we need to tape it up, wrap it up. Sometimes you'll even put some extra support on top of it, like you were mentioning, to prevent getting stepped on. So it's really, where is the injury? And again, like I said, when they say turf toe, is it always that first diagnosis? Like I said, there's a whole kind of lump of things we throw in there. But technically, that's the one that's traditionally thought of, and it's a pretty common injury. So yeah, you want to move that flexion out of it and then go from there.
So when I had plantar fasciitis, they put a steel plate in the bottom of my shoe too. So there's a lot of things you can just fix with some steel.
Absolutely.
Let's just put it in the shoe there. And just hope it doesn't get thrown 20 yards down the field.
Can we go to Drew Brees now, considering Brittany's Instagram post of today? I mean, apparently he had plantar fasciitis in his foot and also had a torn rotator cuff. So how much pain was 9 in for the last couple of weeks?
For the past season.
Yeah.
Goodness, 11 ribs, a collapsed lung.
So I had plantar fasciitis in both feet, and Doc knows this. I've told this story, and I remember hearing it pop. Pre-game warm-ups, we're playing in San Diego. There was a little bit of rain, nothing crazy, but for San Diego, crazy. They changed our spikes out on our cleats. They put the long spikes in. My foot got caught in the ground, and it was like slow motion. I heard it just, and I was like, what was that? Take my shoe off. Felt like I was walking on a bed of rocks, sharp rocks. Take my shoe off. My foot's like already black. They do this tape job, and I didn't have the luxury, Doc, of being able to sit out like some of the other guys on my team. I had to practice, I had to play, and it was what it was. I felt like I was running with bricks on the bottom of my feet, and that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah, plantar fasciitis is one of those things. We see it a lot, athletes and just our regular patients that come in, and I'll tell you, it's a bear, and it's hard to get rid of. Sometimes when it pops, sometimes they actually feel better long term, but at the end of the day, it's miserable for sure, and it's hard to treat as well. Kind of, you'll brace the shoe, you'll tape it. Sometimes you'll do types of injections, but it's not a fun thing.
Hunt, you mentioned rotator cuff as well for Drew. That one just seems like something. If I'm Drew and I'm not playing anymore, I'm just like, yeah, maybe I'll do that later.
Let's see how we do.
That's a pretty tough one, right?
It's a tough recovery, and it's all about the severity of the injury. If you have a small tear, a lot of times we can let those kind of heal up, use your therapy, do all that. The big ones you sometimes do have to fix for long term, pain and all of that. And obviously, if you're a quarterback, that's a big deal.
I know that I had a torn labrum that it was an issue where I could get it fixed, but it's like, okay, your position where you play, let's rehab, let's try to heal it, because going through a shoulder procedure at your position, playing fullback, let's try to not do it if we don't have to. Shoulder that difficult to come back from?
It's a bear, whether it's labrum
is it the rehab part of it?
It's the rehab is tough. You're in a sling, for at least usually 4 weeks, sometimes 6 to 8 weeks in a sling. And even without the injury, if any of us were to go in a sling for 6 weeks, something like that, you try and come out of it and try and raise your arm, you'd be amazed how difficult that is, even without the underlying injury. So it is, and then you got to rehab it back. It's a time-taking thing, and with, like you said, labrums, you don't always have to fix those. There's a lot of professional athletes, especially linemen, fullbacks, linebackers, a lot of these guys that are probably had torn labrum since high school and still playing with it. So
Right. All right, so we know shoulders are kind of difficult, but something you and I have talked about is the ACL surgery and how that timetable is really completely changed. I mean, you don't want to say it's fast forwarded because you say have to take your time, you have to do your rehab, and it's still a process. But when I was playing, even not that long ago in the NFL, like you had that, it was like boom, it's a year injury. But now we're seeing guys that got hurt, and of course Joe Burrow is going to come to mind. Derek King at Miami got hurt late into the season, or even in a bowl game scenario, that are trying to get ready for August. And it's a real possibility.
Especially if you're talking about the isolated ACL injuries. The more things you damage, obviously, it gets more complex. But if it's just an ACL tear, look, sometimes it does take longer. Some of it goes down to the surgical technique. I give a lot of the credit to our physical therapists, athletic trainers, though. They're the ones that I think we've realized, hey, let's get these things moving faster. Mm-hmm. And I think, and that's a lot of where the sports medicine aspect comes in. Our goal is to get you ready safely, but also as quickly as we can. And I think we've realized that depending on the nature of the surgery, depending on is it an isolated ACL or whatever else, you can push these guys back a little quicker. Again, you still got to watch for certain benchmarks. You want that strength to get back,
right?
And we're always measuring, one leg to the other, and a lot of those variables that we look at. But I think definitely you're seeing guys coming back at that 7-month range now. It's not always, but we are definitely getting a lot more of that than we used to, for sure.
I mean, I remember it took me a pretty good bit just from microfracture surgery to be able to get back. And of course that was, 12 years ago, but it's almost, they have it so figured out now, and y'all have done such a great job of figuring out what the quickest possible way to get them back on the field and having that rehab process. It's no longer so damaging that you can't come back. And you can and correct me if I'm wrong, you can be a little bit more aggressive in your rehab to get back on the field.
I think 100% you can. And it's funny how some of that does carry over. One of the examples is, when people have like a bad ankle injury, and something that now carries over with my patients. I'll have some of these little old ladies that roll their ankle, and things we've learned from sports. I realize, hey, we can get you moving faster, and they really do a lot better. There are always exceptions, and unstable injuries got to heal. But we do find that there are times that probably this old idea of just put a cast on it and leave it alone for 6 weeks, 8 weeks for a lot of injuries was causing some damage and a lot harder to get back from. So a lot of it is coming into how we're doing things, and we're always learning more.
We just talked to Paul Mainieri in the last hour. Can you promise me that we won't have any arm problems the entire spring? Like none.
I wish I could. I'll be optimistic, but yeah, that's a tough one.
Do you have any thoughts on why this is so? I mean, if you listen to some of the guys that pitched in the 80s and 90s, they say, yeah, we were hurt too. We just pitched. And now when they hurt, they know they have to go get it fixed, so they go get it fixed. Is it just that we're now taking things more seriously, or is it because kids are throwing baseballs more often?
I think you basically hit both of the topics there. I think we are doing a lot more with our kids these days. We all see it. We all know it. If you have a kid in baseball, my son plays, and oh my gosh, it's insane. Mm-hmm. The amount that they're doing, I think back to when we were that age, which wasn't that long ago, and it's changed so much, how much they throw, how much a lot of these kids are playing year-round even. They're working with pitching coaches, all fall, and then they play their spring ball, and it's just on and on and on. But I also do think, look, there are things that guys probably would have played with, 20, 30 years ago that we've realized probably wasn't a good idea. Mm-hmm. I think I think a lot of coaches, a lot of teams are taking a little bit more recognition of the medical side of things, so which I think is good. Are there times that maybe we could push guys a little harder? Probably. But, when you put all the chips on the table, you want to do safety first. So,
spring football is something that a lot of us have talked about, asked about. I would assume that right now the plan is to continue the testing protocols that were in place that worked for the fall football season to be able to have spring football?
Yeah, right now, obviously we're making small little tweaks here and there to what we've been doing.
Still testing. Sorry to cut you off, but still testing for the off-season workouts as well.
We do, but again, it's more randomized.
Right.
In-season play, any sport, it's pretty much 3 times a week.
Right.
And whether it's football, basketball is doing what football was doing.
Mm-hmm.
For the off-season workouts, it's a little bit more randomized and then symptom-based, of course, as well. If somebody's sick, we swab them and isolate them, and then we're doing some random testing periodically also.
Doc, we always appreciate it. We appreciate you fitting us in the schedule today. I know you had a busy day, so we do appreciate it. And by the way, Doc's little man, I had him at the football camp. He's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, man.
Did you get it from the missus?
I probably got his coordination for sure from her. So
that's what my wife says. All the good things the Hester boys got from the missus.
Oh, for sure.
Without a doubt. brortho.com is the website for the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Check it out. The best in the business. I know whenever I've got an issue, they are the ones that deal with it for me. We'll be back hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Are brought to you by Patient Plus Urgent Care. Feeling under the weather, not sure what to do? Put your mind at ease at Patient Plus Urgent Care. They will evaluate your symptoms and, if needed, get tested, treated, and feeling better. They are also open 7 days a week and from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. I tell you all the time, that's very convenient for the Hester crew. Get a COVID-19 test at any one of their Patient Plus 6 locations across the Baton Rouge area. You can go to patientplusuc.com to find out exactly where those locations are at, and for more information. And don't forget, you can book your appointment right there on the site. Flu season is here as well, and this year more important than ever to get vaccinated. Flu spreads like wildfire in workplaces and schools, so Patient Plus Urgent Care is working to make sure you and your family are protected. Again, the website, patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st. 2021.
Meet football legend Tom Flores, a.k.a. the Iceman, a.k.a. the first Latino quarterback and head coach ever, a.k.a. why isn't he in the hall yet? Well, Coors Light is going to do something about it.
I'll drink to that.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. So with Ryan Nielsen out, where does LSU go next in its defensive coordinator search? And we'll recap LSU Bama and hoops. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
Hunt prefers legends over walk-ons.
I've never been to Legends, but certainly since I've never been, I don't prefer it because I love walk-ons. It's right there.
Hunt thought
I went to walk-ons yesterday.
Hunt thought Wonder Woman 84 was a great movie.
I've never seen that and won't.
I love all the superhero movies. Wonder Woman, the first one, was much better than 84.
Whatever you say.
Oh, I'm too cool. I don't watch superhero movies.
I'm not too cool for anything.
Hester
I'm just
and
not
T-Bob, watching
No,
their
Batman
comics.
Dark Knight's one of my favorite movies.
Hunt pours milk into his bowl before the cereal.
I can't tell you the last time I had a bowl of cereal, and certainly wouldn't do it that way.
It's amazing. We're friends. Hunt double dips.
No, you can't double dip the chip.
Hunt puts pepper on his
Just dip
watermelon.
it once and end it.
You put pepper on your watermelon?
I don't put pepper on my watermelon.
Hunt wears socks with slippers. I can see you doing that.
I don't have any slippers.
Hunt didn't like Breaking Bad.
Oh, great show. I think the best show ever. Love it.
Hunt was cheering for Bama to break records last night.
No, it was not. It was like, I felt like when I was at the no-hitter right before the world shut down, when we got no-hit by, who was that, Baylor? That sound right? Yeah. Felt like I was, no, it wasn't Oklahoma. Oklahoma no-hit us. And some people were like, oh, I was glad I got to see that. I was like, screw that. It sucked. We didn't get a hit. I wouldn't want to watch them make one more shot last night.
Oh. Hunt is so extra, he puts dimes in his penny loafers.
Yeah, I'm real extra.
I love it. Hunt never liked the pink Power Ranger.
I did never see an episode of Power Rangers, so I don't have a preference on what color I like.
All right, this one, I don't know if I can co-sign. Hunt thinks Olive Garden is gourmet Italian food. Look, it's not like
I love Italian food.
I do too. That's my favorite.
I like it when it's $12 a plate, and I like it when it's $30 a plate. It's good.
It's literally my favorite type of food.
Yeah, me too.
But there's sometimes I can go ham on some Olive Garden.
I mean, sure. Fettuccine Alfredo, that's tough to screw up. Put some Parmesan on there.
All right, let's go back and talk some more LSU hoops. John Brady, of course, former coach of the LSU Tigers, now on the call for LSU every single game, is set to join us in 12 minutes here. There were some things that you wanted to discuss about Cam Thomas before we get to Coach Brady.
Yeah, so this is something that I think needs to change in the LSU offense when I watch it. And teams are starting to play Cam a little bit differently now. And they are really collapsing on him when he drives. And there's a reason for that. He's not a threat to pass the basketball. I'll give you his assist totals in SEC games.
Yeah.
A&M, 1. Florida, 1. Georgia, 1. Ole Miss, he didn't really play. Arkansas, 3. South Carolina, 0. Alabama, 1. If you're not going to pass it, we can put 3 guys on you and make it real tough to score. And they're being real physical with him. And he gets to the free throw line, and he's scoring his points, but his field goal percentage is bad. I mean, if you look back over the last few games against Georgia, he shot 29%. Against Arkansas, he shot 33%. Against South Carolina, he shot 37%. Last night, he shot 35%.
Right.
Because there's so much focus and commotion around him. So Cam's never been asked to be a distributor in his life, and I'm not asking him to become an elite distributor on this team. I'm saying you got to do it some. You've got to kick quickly at some point so they'll back off you.
Right.
Because it's been detrimental. It's detrimental to the whole function of the offense.
When his head goes down and he starts to dribble, I'm going for the basket. I don't think there's any question about that. And if we can figure that out here doing Sports Talk Radio, I've got to imagine that the coaches
and I want
in
him
the
to
SEC
do that some because he's
There's
good
a place
at it.
for sure.
And he scores 20 a night. But life will be easier if you dish. I mean, one of those assists, I mean, there's like one a game, was when he flipped it back to Days in overtime of the Georgia game. And that was the game where he had 3 assists. But he's got to pass the ball a little bit better.
And there's going to be open players because you're right. When they collapse on him inside the paint, whenever he does drive, there's going to be guys on the wing. You're going to have Javonte. You're going to have Darius. You're going to have guys ready for the basketball. Now, can you facilitate the basketball to them and allow them and trust them to hit down the open shots? Look, you're a pure scorer. You're here for a reason. You're the leading scorer in Oak Hill history, and that's one of the most prestigious high school basketball places in our country. Okay? We don't want to take that away from you, but to your point, and I agree with you, there's a time, 5 times maybe in a game, where you can start to dribble, you can duck your head like you're going to the basket, and you can dish it out to one of your guys that's sitting there behind the three-point line waiting. And I think that is a recipe for success for LSU.
And it's not – it's something that is pretty easy to coach. I mean, just a little bit of change of an attitude.
Yeah.
Still, we want you to do it sometimes, but just put the film on and go, look at how many – when you take the ball from the wing right here, from the top of the key, look how many guys end up on you on your third dribble.
Yeah.
You want a little cleaner lane?
Right.
Pitch and we'll pop one. Look at the shooting percentages for the guys that you've got on your team from three-point range. Trendon's shooting 39%. Javonte's shooting 46%. Days is shooting 39%. They'll knock them down if you give them the ball.
Right.
I think it's something that they'll look at.
Now, let me ask you this. Tremont was so good at driving, and then once he was at the rim, he would find a way to get it to Big B Williams or whoever that was at the rim for an easy finish. I mean, people would collapse. There's different ways to get the ball out of your hand into your teammates' hands. Does LSU have the ability to do that? Do they have that guy that can be around the rim, or is there a better option to do what we just talked about?
Well, they're trying to spread it and play 5 wide. They're not going to have someone who spends most of the time around the block. Cavell didn't spend most of his time around the block, but he was down there more than these guys are. But point being, cutters, all these guys can go up there and throw it down. I mean, Javonte's probably not going to windmill it, but Days and Watford are plenty capable of going up there, catching a lob and throwing it down.
I mean, even LeBlanc, I mean, he's going to be somewhere close to there. He's not going to be behind the arc. That could be someone that when he's in the game, that's kind of what you go to.
Yeah, I mean, and you're still going to garner that much attention because they realize that things can get going quickly if they let you get going. So they're going to still play this kind of defense until you force them to back off, which I think they'll do. And it's just something that I thought of while I was miserable watching the game last night and went and looked at the statistics, and they bore it out. I thought he would have had more than basically 1 assist every game, but that's where he is right now.
Sharif O'Neal got back into the action last night.
Not ready.
Not ready, not a lot, but they got him slowly worked back in. It was good to see him at least back on the court.
Sure. He's got something you can't teach. He's 6'10" and can run and jump. So good to have him back. He's clearly not ready to contribute in a big spot in the game because he was just a little rusty. That air ball he put up was ugly and just kind of looked a little disjointed. He did come over and block a shot, which was nice to see when Alabama was driving on the left side. But he's got a ways to go, but the only way to get there is to practice and play. So that's what you got to do.
All right, so moving forward, this is a tape that you've got to cut loose. You've got to throw it in the trash because you cannot harp on what you did wrong or what Alabama.
You can watch the Bama tape before you play them again, but I'm going straight to Kentucky today.
Because that's that's a team that doesn't shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
And you're going into a place that has notoriously been very difficult to play in. I don't think that's the case right now. And not even because of attendance, but because of where they're at as a team. You've got to be able to bounce back. And even though Kentucky is not Kentucky, they're 4-8, you go up to that place and get a win, that will get you right back to where you want to be.
As Will said yesterday, just don't let this one beat us twice. And you would think that the leadership on this team would not allow that to happen.
All right, we will take a break. When we come back, former LSU basketball coach John Brady will join us here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Speaking of Richard Honda, you can find them online at richardshonda.com. I've been telling you over the last couple of days, they have a new feature on the homepage. It tells you exactly how many new vehicles they have in stock over at Richard Honda, and you fill out exactly what you're looking for. It's going to pull right up. 423 new vehicles in stock. Yesterday, it was down to 412. So they've got some new vehicles in stock. Go check it out over at 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millerville. With over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot, you'll find something that you absolutely love. If you're at home and you want to have that car delivered to you, yes, delivered to your doorstep, you can do that from richardshonda.com as well. The buy from home option is right there at the top of the homepage. And I tell you every day, because it's true, no matter what you're looking for, car, hybrid, midsize, full-size SUV, van, or truck, they've got you covered over at Richards Honda. That's why it's home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Join us for a Wednesday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Snow, Seafood, and Steak in Gonzales. We recap LSU basketball's big game against Alabama and look ahead to the rest of the week. Come out and see us or tune in at 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda. Continuing our LSU hoops discussion. Former LSU head basketball coach and now part of the LSU Sports Radio Network, Coach John Brady joins us now. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing well, and let's just go ahead and start it off like this. Coach, I've never seen anything like that on any level of basketball. 23 3-pointers made. That's like video game numbers, Coach.
Well, the first half, when you go, I don't know if it was 14 for 19.
That's right.
From the three-point line. 14 for 19 is a good day when you're in the gym by yourself. Regardless of the other team, the officials, the fans, the distractions that may bring also. So it was an unbelievable shooting display by the Alabama team, and I think the first four shots that Petty made, I think our team got in shock and they were stunned a little bit, and we never really got past that, and they didn't stop, and it was an incredible shooting display, and there's a couple of different ways you can look at it, but you can analyze the game 100 different ways, but anytime you give up 23 threes made, there's not a whole lot else you can talk about. And then on the other end, we don't shoot it very well at all. And I think with the Alabama team and what I talked about and what I've talked about the last week with this team, they talk about the three-pointers and, Alabama's the third fastest playing team in the country. They shoot the ball every 14 seconds, but they do get ball reversals. But the thing about Alabama that people overlook, we get hypnotized by them offensively in the threes they shoot. They're the best defensive team I've seen come into the PMAC this year. After 6 SEC games, they were leading the league in field goal percentage defense, leading the league in three-point field goal percentage defense. You couple that with playing any kind of offense, you got a chance to win a bunch of games, and that's what they do. The defensive end for them is really, really good.
Coach, when you get in a game like that and the other team is just doing what Alabama did, how difficult is that to work on things that you wanted to get done during that game?
Well, when a game is going like that and the other team starts off so well offensively, a couple of things I think you need to do is you need to get out and pressure everybody. And change what you were doing defensively and maybe just pressure those guys and make it difficult for Petty to catch. And then when he does catch it, get up in him a little bit and let him put it on the floor a little bit. But the most important thing is when you get down like that, you've got to somehow find a way to get consecutive stops. And I'm not talking about 2 stops. I'm talking about string together 4, 5, or 6 consecutive stops without fouling, make them miss and rebound the ball, then you come down offensively and get the shot you want with the right guy shooting the ball. That's the only way to get that game back right. And I don't know the first half if we ever had, 3 consecutive stops in a row. And the only way you get back in a game like that is to get consecutive stops, however you do it, whether you change defense, whether you adjust your man-to-man or whatever the case may be. And Alabama was so good last night, we just weren't able to do it.
What would you have tried to do to try to get those stops last night? What did LSU do poorly that needed to get cleaned up?
Well, here's how I explain some of that. It's not for me to second guess that. And there's a lot of different ways to play the game, just like there's a lot of different ways offensively to attack a defense in football. Now, sometimes when you choose that approach, whether it's defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and it doesn't work, it wasn't the right game plan. But next time you adjust and you whatever you do to make it better the next time. And I think I don't know, our approach last night and what Will was talking about before he was concerned about the twos, and I think we were there on the catch, not really there on the catch, but more concerned about their dribble penetration than we were about them shooting the three. And so it just didn't quite work last night. And honestly, they made some uncharacteristic shots. I mean, some of those shots they made were really incredible, but like with any offense, I think it's kind of like the plague. Once it starts spreading, everybody gets the feel of it. And I think good offense, just spread through that team last night. And everybody thought they could make it. Not just 1 or 2 guys, but they had 4 or 5 different guys make some threes last night that were really some tough shots. So I view the game as this. It's over. It's done with. Get ready to play Kentucky. They've beaten Kentucky up there before. And that's the game that I would put all my emphasis on. This was one of those nights in college basketball. How many times have you heard a baseball coach say, well, that's just baseball, and they just kind of blow it off? So I think that's one of those nights last night. Now, if it repeats itself, then you may have an issue. But let's just see how we respond on the road at Kentucky on Saturday, which everyone knows that's an important game for Kentucky, too. They're kind of at a crossroads with their team in terms of NCAA tournament appearance, so we're going to get their best shot as well. So we'll just see how LSU responds, and I think that's the biggest challenge now, is to see how we respond to Kentucky on the road Saturday.
You kind of answered my question, but I want to go right back to it, is that we've seen you show plenty of emotion on the sideline. We've shown Wilt Wade show plenty of emotion and displeasure on the sideline. What would your message to your team have been last night after losing by 30 on your home floor? Would it have been harsh, stern, and tough, or would it have been, look, guys, let's get out of here and we'll see you tomorrow?
Well, I think Will answered it very well when Chris asked him that question after the game, and you know, my response before he came on was there's 2 different ways you can do it. You can take the tape and beat your team up a little bit and show them where they didn't do things right and challenge them, or you can just flush it, as Coach Berkman used to say, and move on to the next game. You know, Will knows the personality of his team. He knows what it needs, what it can take, and what it can't take. And that's the job of the head coach, to gauge which way to take this with the team. I assume, I don't know for a fact, in Will's comments, he said he would digest it and make that determination based on what's best for his players, which I thought that was a great response, a well-thought-out response, and not something made in an emotional way. So I would assume they're going to move on and prepare the best they can to win on the road at Kentucky. You know, you could even do something really crazy and take that tape and just burn it right there in a trash can in front of your team and get it out of the way, and treat it as something that it's just happened, guys. That's not who we are. We've got another opportunity coming up Saturday. Let's get it together and go play our best at Rupp.
And, Coach, it's such a different matchup than the one you just had against Alabama. Kentucky is not a great shooting team, and you know, they have struggled. They do have young players. Alabama's got veteran players. So it's a completely different matchup. So as much as you want to go back and correct what happened against Alabama, it might suit you better to just not talk about that game until you play them again and just completely move on as fast as you can to this Kentucky team.
Well, I agree with that. And what Will said I thought was very on point and appropriate. Let's don't let this game beat us twice. And that's something to really think about as a coach and a coaching staff, and how you want to relay that particular game to your team and how it helps you prepare for the next one. You know, but most teams are different in the league, and nobody really plays like Alabama or tries to play. Maybe Auburn does it to a degree, but the rest of the teams are more conventional than Auburn and certainly Alabama. So Kentucky doesn't have a point guard. The ball's not going to flow as freely around the perimeter as Alabama did. They're not going to shoot as well because that is, I agree with you, that's a proven fact. They're not a three-point shooting team. If they beat LSU, it's going to be on the backboard. It's going to be at the free throw line. It's going to be at their ability to drive the ball by us and create offense like that. So we've got to just, offensively keep doing what we're doing. Maybe a little bit better. Kentucky's going to guard us really well. But I think that if Kentucky beats LSU Saturday, it's not going to be certainly behind the arc.
Coach, your listenership went up 1 yesterday because I left the game with 10 minutes to go. I had seen enough, but I flipped y'all on, and you said something that interested me, and I want to get your take on it now. Here is, you said that teams have kind of adjusted to Cam a little bit, and his shooting percentage reflects that. What would you tell Cam, and what could they do to maybe free him up a little bit and get him back going?
Well, Cam came on by storm, and coaches in the SEC are pretty good. They're going to watch tape of him and break it down individually and find what his strengths are, what his tendencies are, what he likes to do, where he scores most from. And then they're going to adjust in defending him and make it more difficult. I think with the tension that Cam is bringing, he may have to come off screens away from the ball and do something for him on the weak side. I like the pin down they do for him occasionally when they hit Watford at the opposite elbow and pin down on the weak side and let him read the defender based on how he comes across the screen or out of the screen. And I think that's been effective. And I think as they get into games, particularly on the road Saturday, Cam's going to have some assistance to get open. And he doesn't have to get wide open. He just needs a screen or two away from the ball when he does catch to have just some kind of advantage on the defender, and then he'll take care of the rest.
Coach, we saw Sharif O'Neal get into this game, and obviously he was limited minutes, but to get him back on the court, obviously they've been trying to get him back for a couple of weeks now, and it seemed like they just wanted to knock the rust off of him and have him available down the stretch.
Yeah, I think it was a good move to play him and let him get over whatever not playing or wanting to play, whatever anxiety that creates for a young player. And he got a chance to get whatever minutes he got, 14 or 15 or whatever it was, to get involved. But he is a perimeter player as well. He'll get a rebound occasionally, maybe block a shot, but he's not a back to the basket guy. He's kind of players we have, hybrid kind of four guys that play facing the goal. But it was good to get him in the game, and certainly he'll give us some depth and another opportunity to rest somebody as they move forward here. And against Kentucky, he may be able to pull somebody out and make a basket or two, but he needs to shoot a better percentage, and hopefully the balls he missed last night, he'll make those after being able to play some critical minutes last night.
All right, he is Coach John Brady, good enough to join us for a couple minutes here this afternoon. Coach, we always appreciate the time.
Anytime, guys. Thanks.
All right, there he is, John Brady. You can catch him as part of the LSU Sports Radio Network. And see, I didn't know you stole that Cam Thomas info from Coach Brady.
Well, I didn't. He said,
you plagiarized.
Teams had adjusted to him. I said, well, let me look. He's not passing the ball to anybody.
Yeah, you plagiarized. It's fine.
I thought I took a hint from a great coach.
All right, we're going to take a break now. We'll dive back into some football news and nuggets when we come back. We've still got Cole Cubelic set to join us at 2:30 as well. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
All right, brought to you by Tiger Air. You can find them online at tiger-air.com. You can get a free quote today on the website that I just gave you, or by picking up the phone, giving them a call at 225-754-8687. Baton Rouge Air Conditioning and Heating Service Repairs, Maintenance, and Sales. They are your go-to place. Emergency service is available, and remember, 24 hours a day. And something we tell you about every single day is their Comfort Assurance Protection Plan, because we know things happen. We also know that in South Louisiana, right, you turn on the heater at night, you might turn on the air conditioning during the day. I mean, you go back and forth, especially in the January, February months. So make sure that your equipment is working at its peak performance. And if you're part of the Comfort Assurance Protection Plan, I can promise you that is going to happen. It's also going to lower your utility bills, which is something we all try to do. You're also going to get increased comfort with your equipment, so you know that you're working at your peak performance. Again, tiger-air.com, and give them a call at 225-754-8687. It's Conference Championship Sunday in the NFL. Our coverage starts Sunday afternoon at 2:05 with the Buccaneers and Packers for the NFC Championship, then the Bills and Chiefs at 5:40 for the AFC Championship. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only, subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey, it's Musso. Join us for Thursdays Off the Bench. Chef Michael Johnson will stop by to answer all your munchie questions. We look at the Saints salary cap heading into 2021, and Jarrett Roser stops by to talk recruiting. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Annie, presented by Richard Honda here on a Wednesday afternoon. Paul Mainieri in for Charles Hannegriff. Thinking maybe we can get Charles back some part next week. Maybe that new hips with an S.
Those hips don't lie.
Ooh,
Shakira, baby.
I see what you did there. All right, I want to talk some NFL, and before we get to the matchups and the injuries and everything that's surrounding NFL Championship Week, do want to give a shout-out to my guy, Phillip Rivers. He has decided after 17 seasons to hang his cleats up. He is now going to become the coach of, I believe it is St. Michael's in Fairhope, Alabama. And he has accepted this job, and it's something that he knew he wanted to do. His dad was a high school coach, and he's always wanted to be a high school coach. And so he has decided to retire. I never thought he would retire. This is a guy that I thought would play forever. And I've told y'all the story. They said, when we'd go around asking how long this guy would want to play, that guy would want to play, my answer was always 8. Nick Hardwick would say 10. Sean Merriman would say 8, and Phillip would say, I want them to drag me off the field kicking and screaming because he loved football, he loved playing, but he wanted to be a high school coach just like his dad, and he is going to do so moving to Fairhope, Alabama. He had a hell of a run, and you're talking about 8th highest quarterback rating of all time, top 5 in passing yards in NFL history. I realized he did not get that Super Bowl appearance, so he's going to be on the list with Marino and Kelly. But for me, I understand that that's always going to be the quarterback discussion. To me, Phillip's a Hall of Famer. He was one of the best to do it. When you do it at that high of a level for 17 years, it's hard to argue. One of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet, one of the best family men you'll ever meet, taught me how to be a pro, taught me how to juggle being a father and being a professional athlete because he was so good at it. And I'll always appreciate my time with him. And so, yeah, looking it up now, St. Michael Catholic High School in Fairhope, Alabama. He will now be the head coach there, and I believe that starts like tomorrow.
Yeah. So I was listening as I was heading in. Greeny was chatting, and he was talking about the draft class that had Rivers and Eli and Roethlisberger in it. And his comment was, when I think about those three guys in that draft class and think about who was the best, who was the best quarterback, he goes, I think it was Rivers. Now, he won't get the admiration as those guys as multiple-time Super Bowl winners because that's how we judge everything.
Yeah.
But he thinks it was Rivers, and I would have a hard time arguing. I think
Eli's going to be remembered for the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And for me, I when he asked that, and my head started, things started bouncing around in my head, I'm going, okay, I'm not going to look at any stats. What do I think? I think Roethlisberger was the best, but I didn't look at a single stat to back that up. That was what came to my head. What would you say to that proposed question?
I would think Phillip had better stats, Ben won more games, would be my initial thought. And Ben's been very successful. And, Ben's had some injuries and whatnot. He's had a lot of great seasons. I mean, Phillip, even this year, like when you look at what he did, he threw for over 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
Like they were an 11-5 football team. And, Phillip is always going to kind of be remembered too for dadgummit and shoots and hex and
throwing
gollies.
it from his hip.
And,
I mean, that's another thing that some people, it's just hard to get past. It looks so bad, but it comes out.
Oh my gosh,
It goes
I
where
can't
it
tell
needs
you
to
how many
go.
people, hey, my wife is asking me, is he always throwing like this or is he
Yes.
hurt? No, he's always throwing. And Stephen kind of had a little bit of
Yeah, he
that
did.
too when he was here as a backup to Mettenberger. So when you look at it, man, outstanding career. Y'all know how I feel about Phillip. I talk about him enough. He's been a guest here on this show. Number 2 among quarterbacks without a Super Bowl ring and 8th all-time in wins, only behind Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger, Breeze, Favre, John Elway, Dan Marino. The only quarterbacks that have more wins in the regular season than Phillip Rivers. Every one of those names that I just mentioned are going to be Hall of Famers. I think Phillip's in the Hall of Fame. I'm biased. Is Phillip a Hall of Famer?
I think so. You're getting to a point where passing yards are looked at like home runs, and they're devalued. There were some gold standards, some gold numbers, and they've fallen by the wayside. And it's because everyone realizes that there's just the game's changed. But yeah, I would think he was a Hall of Fame player. I'm not comparing statistics with anybody when I'm just saying, and I kind of prefer to do it that way when you're talking about Hall of Fame. When I say the name, do you think, oh yeah, Hall of Famer? And for him, yeah, I would.
Yeah. By the way, that uniform there in the middle, if you're watching us on CST or on our YouTube page, that is the greatest uniform of all time. The throwback AFL Charger uniform.
It's okay.
It's fantastic. You said the Bills yesterday.
The Bills are the best uniform in the league. They do.
What a bad take.
It's a great take.
You're ruining
Red, white,
the
and
segment.
blue. Red, white, and blue I'm very partial to. I mean, obviously the Cubs are that way, but I think Louisiana Tech has great uniforms. I like the Bills. I like the Blue Jays.
Tech has the potential to have.
I like their
great
logo. I
uniforms.
think it's great. I'm just, for some reason, red, white, and blue just pops to me.
Bad take. Patrick Mahomes, we talked about his turf toe injury as we transition here to the NFL playoffs. Obviously going through concussion protocol. I think all of us learned that Chad Henne is still in the NFL over the weekend. Chad was my draft
sure
class. He was in the Senior Bowl with me. I didn't know Chad Henne was still in the NFL. He is, and he played actually pretty well to win the game.
Little rollout pass
there in the postseason. By the way, what a brilliant play call. They had we're going to hard count them. If they don't jump, we're going to make it look like we're just hard counting out here. We're not going to run a play. And whatever buzzword he said, it made the play live, because you can tell, like, even some of the Chiefs players that like didn't get the communication, they were kind of sitting there and they tried to draw them off sides. And then that buzzword was said, and this is live. And the Browns were standing around because they didn't think there's any way that they're running a play. Fantastic play call by Eric Bieniemy, and a really nice job of setting that up.
It was, and your question initially was, do the Chiefs have any chance if Mahomes doesn't play? And I think they have a chance, but it's not a great one. I would favor the Bills significantly without Mahomes. He's just that good a playmaker, and I think the drop-off is going to be there, especially when the Bills and that defense are given time to prepare for it potentially. So, it's one of those deals where does Alabama apologize because Colt McCoy got hurt? No. Do they apologize because the running back went out in the first play of this national championship? No. You just got to play who's out there. And if he doesn't go out there, I don't think Bills fans are going to be crying in their Bud Lights.
Does it matter? Do you think that it's Green Bay's championship, or do you still think Kansas City?
Oh, Kansas City can beat Green Bay.
Without Mahomes this week, though, I'm saying if they, that's a challenge against Buffalo, and you got to get there to be able to win it. So that game and Josh Allen and all the Buffalo can do, man. If you go in there and you do it without Mahomes and you get him back, you're going to have some juice. Green Bay looks like they're on a mission. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has that boulder on his shoulder right now.
He does, but they got some work to do against a good Bucs team this weekend. I still think all 4 of these teams are good.
Hot take. All 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs.
You were saying
good.
it's 1 teams to win. I think all 4 are good.
I asked you.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us. Vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject to credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Corval Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, USA.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi right now. Phillip Rivers has played his final NFL game. The 39-year-old quarterback announcing his retirement today after 17 seasons. He spent his first 16 years with the Chargers, the final one with the Colts. Rivers went to San Diego in a draft day trade in 2004, finishes fifth all-time in passing yards and touchdown passes. With Rivers' retirement, Indianapolis has a quarterback vacancy to fill and will have plenty of options to do so, explains ESPN's Dan Graziano.
If the Niners move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, that's an interesting guy there. You know, Jacoby Brissett's a free agent in Indianapolis. They really like that guy. Cam Newton's looking for a job. Jameis Winston's, so there are a lot of possibilities. The Jets pick a quarterback at number 2. Sam Darnold's available.
Dan Graziano and Greeny with Mike Greenberg. NBA Nets expect guard Kyrie Irving to return from his 7-game absence tonight against the Cavaliers. It will mark the first time that he, Kevin Durant, and James Harden are on the court together as teammates. 76ers big man Joel Embiid expected back from a knee issue versus the Celtics tonight. 7 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app.
Download the DraftKings app and use code MAX to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 3 of Hanging with Hester and Handy, presented by Richard Tonda, here with Hunt Palmer, Josh Ward, and Paul O'Neill. We'll see if Hanny's new hips can get him here next week, but glad to have Hunt Palmer. We're about to put Hunt Palmer through the Hall of Fame finalist test.
Okay.
Not test, just really a procedure here. Let's see what you would do. Okay, so 15 finalists.
Mm-hmm.
You have 5 votes.
Okay.
Now I'm going to give you the name.
Mm-hmm.
You can say yes, I would vote for them.
Yep.
No, I would not vote for them. Or you can say I want to hold off until I get to the end of this list. Okay. Let's start off. We're going to go in alphabetical order here, okay? Jared Allen from 2004 until 2015 with the Chiefs, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. Does Jared Allen get a Hall of Fame vote?
No.
No on Jared Allen.
Yep.
Rondé Barber from 1997 until 2012 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All of his NFL years with one franchise.
No.
No to Rondé Barber. Tony Baselli played from 95 until 2001 with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
6 years.
In 2002, he was on the Texans, but was on the IR, never played for them. Tony Baselli.
I mean, I know where this is going, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, so we are hot out of the gates with 3 no's. Leroy Butler, safety for the Green Bay Packers from 1990 until 2001.
This was just my prime video game time where you would get Madden out and like put all these guys on your team. This is like my Madden team. Leroy Butler, I'm gonna go with no right now.
Okay, all right. So we're getting to a former LSU Tiger here,
Mm-hmm.
Alan Faneca, from 1998 until 2010 with the Steelers, Jets, and Cardinals. Does Alan Faneca get a Hall of Fame vote from Hunt Palmer?
Hold.
Are you going to hold Alan Faneca? Okay. Torrey Holt from 1999 until 2009 with the Rams and the Jaguars. Does Torrey Holt get an NFL Hall of Fame vote?
Yes.
All right. Torrey Holt. Calvin Johnson from 07 to... Okay, Megatron. All right, be careful. Just telling you.
I know. I'm trying.
John Lynch from 93 until 2007. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Denver Broncos. And now the GM of the 49ers.
No.
No John Lynch. The sheriff. He gets, yeah.
Yeah, he's in.
PFM. He's in. Okay. PFM. Clay Matthews, 1978 until 1996.
Oh, wait. I was going a different Clay Matthews.
No.
We're talking offensive tackle here.
No, linebacker, but still... You're thinking of the other Matthews.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
A lot of Matthews played in the NFL. From 78 till 93 with the Browns, 94 to 96 with the Falcons. So, long career, Clay Matthews. If you didn't know what position he played, I'm going to go ahead and assume no.
Bruce Matthews is who I thought for some reason.
Yeah.
And then all his
Sam
sons
Mills,
played
1986 to 1997 with the Saints and Panthers.
No.
That one's hard for me too. Richard Seymour from 01 until 2012 with the Patriots and the Oakland Raiders. Richard Seymour get a vote. Former Georgia
I'm
Bulldog.
gonna hold him.
Okay, holding Richard Seymour. Zach Thomas from 96 until 2008 with the Dolphins and the Cowboys.
I'm going to hold him.
Okay. God, he was leverage. Let's put it that way. Reggie Wayne, 01 until 2014 with the Colts.
Yes.
Reggie Wayne. So 3.
I got 4 in.
3 receivers, 4 total.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Woodson, 1998 until 2012 twice with the Raiders and once with the Green Bay Packers.
All right, Charles Woodson's in.
All right, so Hunt's Hall of Fame ballot includes Torrey Holt, Calvin Johnson, Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne, and Charles Woodson.
Yeah, I was a little skewed there towards the guys that were making plays with the ball in their hand. There's no doubt.
Okay.
And there's a lot of guys that are surefire getting in on this list. Faneca, Seymour, Zach Thomas, John Lynch. Is Sam Mills going to get in?
I hope so.
It's late in the game, but maybe. Jared Allen, that one's iffy for me too.
He was so good.
He was.
And I'm a little biased because I played against
Tony
him. I know what it
Baselli
was
maybe the best offensive lineman in the league. I mean, he was around the
6
time of
years,
Larry
yeah.
Allen, but he just didn't play very long. So what's the trade out?
Calvin Johnson, when you start talking about receiving yards, he has 11,000 receiving yards. Now, he only played a short period of time to kind of give you where he's at on the list. He's 32nd. Okay?
And just to be very frank and be honest about my opinion, him making defensive backs look like they're 5'3" and running like a deer is more impressive to me in a short period of time than Tony Baselli stonewalling left ends because it's just more visible. I
So-
know how good Baselli was, but Johnson, it just popped because he had the ball.
I agree with you on Torrey Holt, and I'm glad you went there. Torrey Holt, 13,382 receiving yards from 99 until 2009. You add 3 more years to Reggie Wayne from 01 to 14, it's not even 1,000 more yards receiving.
Yeah.
So 3 full seasons, 1,000 yards. I'm there with Torrey Holt. Alan Faneca deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Alan Faneca, for his position, was dominant during an era. During it, like if you want to put like a 10-year period on it, he was the guy at that position. You can take the LSU out of it because there's some LSU guys that I would not give my vote to this year. Alan Faneca, he's waited long enough. I think Alan Faneca deserves to be in.
How many of these guys would you feel betting a little bit more than you're comfortable with are locks on this ballot? You can only have to bet. You can just say Peyton Manning and leave it. But how many would you bet more than you're comfortable with?
So if you're not familiar, if you're not familiar,
class?
there's not really a set number that you can get, but it's typically between 4 and 8, and it goes to the panel of 48 members. Okay, if you said you're betting your house on these people to get in, I think it's only 2 for me. It's the sheriff, Peyton Manning, and Charles Woodson.
Okay, that's what I thought you were.
That's the 2 that I would, no doubt about it, they're getting in first ballot Hall of Famers. Now, if you asked me, I'd give you a different answer. And 2, some of this it's not biased because I don't have any ties to them, but I saw them in the moment. I played at Detroit when I know that their check down was not to check it down to the back. It was for Matthew Stafford to point to the end zone. Megatron would run to the end zone, and he's going to throw it as far as he can, and he's going to watch Megatron take it off your defensive back's helmet. That was their check down.
2 guys in the history of the league that have had that play call in the playbook. Culpepper had it to Moss. I still say Randy Moss and LeBron James are the 2 greatest athletes I've ever watched do it. Deion's probably deserved to be in that. I'm too young for Bo Jackson. But in terms of size, speed, vertical, hand-eye coordination, LeBron and Randy Moss basically in a league by themselves for me with Calvin Johnson.
Jets broke Randy Moss's records.
I did.
Yeah.
But Jets is a beast at running these crossing routes and all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't look as pretty.
All right, so for me, it's very difficult. I don't, which 5 I would give my vote for. And gosh, you asked me tomorrow, this might change. I'm going Peyton Manning. I'm going Charles Woodson. I'm going Alan Faneca. I'm going Torrey Holt. And I think I'm going John Lynch.
Okay.
John Lynch, and y'all have heard me say this before, was so good from the free safety position, blitzing and getting to the quarterback and disrupting things, that blitz is known, free safety will, as the Lynch blitz in the NFL. When you have a blitz named after you,
that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I don't have one personally.
There's not a Hunt blitz.
There's not.
Okay.
As far as I know.
There's probably like some Hester play, but it's probably for my cousin Devin and not for me. So
I hadn't been on a blitz. I may have never been on one because I played safety the only 2 years I ever played defense.
I bet you got exposed in coverage.
There was no coverage. It was like 5th grade. You couldn't throw it. This was not Evangel, okay? Everybody ran the ball.
I was about to say,
we only had 12 guys on the team.
Okay.
So I had to play defense.
Okay. Is there any video evidence of that? Can we call Dr. Palmer's office and get that?
Yeah, there is some, because my dad had some home, but it's more of me playing quarterback and like doing tosses and running the option.
We can only hope.
Yeah.
That there's video evidence.
I didn't like football that much.
And it shows. Okay, we'll take a break.
I just didn't like getting hit.
We'll take a break. Still set to join us, Cole Cubelic at 2:30. We've got Ask Us brought to you by Cole Coors Light to finish up the show. We'll be back here hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Tonda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a Corolla for $239 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty, and with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers. So with Ryan Nielsen out, where does LSU go next in its defensive coordinator search? And we'll recap LSU Bama and hoops. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richardson here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 11:30 a.m. The Tiger and Cox Sports Television. Got a couple of college football news and nuggets to get to before we welcome on Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network to the show. Alabama has made a coaching hire. The former Jacksonville Jaguars head coach Doug Marrone will now be their offensive line coach. He is set to join former Texans head coach Bill O'Brien, who's replacing Sark as Alabama's offensive coordinator.
That's right. Couple things. Sounds great on paper to have former NFL head coaches come join your staff. That theoretically sounds very, very good.
Did it happen here in Baton Rouge?
It happened here twice in the last 8 years, and everyone threw a fit and said it was terrible. So, look, Saban's been an unbelievable judge of coaching acumen. He's put together tremendous staffs, even when it didn't make sense to some people. And I have absolutely no reason to believe that anybody that would come in there would upset the apple cart and do things very poorly. However,
they're going to the rehab center.
Exactly. It's not as if this is a surefire way to make everything work. Just hire somebody that's been a head coach of the NFL, and then that'll fix everything. It certainly does not. So,
for the most part, there's a reason why they're not a coach in the NFL anymore, especially in Marrone. I mean, Bill O'Brien had a winning record, but obviously couldn't get out of his own way when making decisions and being the GM.
He turned himself into the GM
as well. That was not a recipe for success. And obviously, both have college coaching, backgrounds, and it's on their resume. There's no question about that. But they've been away for a little bit, so we'll see how that works out there in Tuscaloosa. Another piece of SEC news: Ryan Hilinski, the former five-star freshman that was a starter at South Carolina, has now transferred to Northwestern. Ryan Hilinski was a guy that played and threw for over 2,000 yards as a freshman, but South Carolina brought in Mike Bobo from Colorado State after he was let go. He went and got Colin Hill, his quarterback, and a couple more players actually from Colorado State. They tried Hunt to play it safe. They tried to play it safe, keep their job for one more year, and then maybe they could do something different. So they went with Colin Hill, not Ryan Hilinski. As we all know now, you can't do that in college football. You cannot upset the young up-and-coming quarterback. And Ryan Hilinski's got some real talent. There's some things he needs to work on, but he's got some real talent. He doesn't wait around. He transfers to Northwestern, and it's just one of those situations that we all know it's probably going to happen here at LSU when you have four talented quarterbacks on the roster. They're not going to all start the season on your roster. That's where we are in college football. So this news now isn't surprising anymore. It is what it is.
No, I mean, it's the nature of the position, and it is what it is. I think Hilinski did some really good things early, and you're right. I think Bobo went with what was comfortable, and
safe.
Well, yeah, and it's that schedule with that team. The writing was on the wall before the season started. When you looked at the track record at South Carolina and who was on their schedule, that things could get ugly, and they did. And they fired the coach. And Hilinski's picked an interesting place to go. Northwestern, I'm always torn, but I think this year more so than other years, they did a really good job up there. I mean, to play Ohio State as close as they did, as tough as they did in that championship game, to win the amount of games that they did in a weird year that they canceled football and brought it back. But I'm always a little quicker than I should be, admittedly to a fault here, to kind of shove aside, David Shaw, it's at Stanford. Are they really any good? I'm a big, bad LSU fan. Like, do I think that Stanford's any good? Wait, are they really any good at Northwestern? Like, it's the wrong way to look at things, but it's the way that I look at things. It's an elitist tag that I should probably shed pretty quickly, but it's just the way I feel. The way that they played against Ohio State this year up at Northwestern, I thought was impressive. And clearly Fitzgerald, with not a ton to work with other than a gorgeous football facility that's too cold outside to use, there's not a lot of resources up there.
All right, and there's some quarterback movement, and every couple of weeks we update you on the transfer portal and what's going on there. You know, Ray Thornton decides to leave LSU to go to Texas. We reported that whenever it happened. And when you look at the quarterback market, like Mackenzie Milton goes from UCF to Florida State. Ryan Helinski, as we've mentioned, South Carolina to Northwestern. Jarrett Garantano, in his 97th season of eligibility, goes from Tennessee to Washington State. So he will no longer be.
That's one you feel bad for. And I realize he just didn't play great, and he took more heat than he should have because you're at a place that's
as we see, that's a mess.
Well, it's a mess, but it's their fan base. I'm not even talking about hiring and firing coaches and all the garbage that goes on with the administration up there where they can't figure it out. That doesn't affect the starting quarterback as much as potentially the fans in the stands, the boos, the reception on the student. But like he caught a lot of garbage on Twitter and everywhere. He's trying as hard as he can. He was a model citizen the entire time he was there, had a great attitude, even when he was taken out of games, no matter if he was a young quarterback or an older quarterback, he's always there to help and support. He just didn't play very well.
Right.
And you wish better for a guy who did everything the right way. He just, when you don't play great, that's kind of what happens.
A couple of more names inside the transfer portal at the quarterback position that LSU fans will recognize. Garrett Schrader, remember, he started for Mississippi State against LSU before Mike Leach got there. He is now at Syracuse. And James Foster, a recruit that LSU went after pretty heavy at the end of his recruitment, now going from Texas A&M to Charlotte to be the quarterback there. Of course, we know Peter Parrish has gone to Memphis, but how about this name? Yes, he's still in college football. Jake Bentley, going from Utah to South Alabama.
Wow. What happened at Utah? He lost a job?
No, he played the whole time. Really, I don't know what happened at Utah.
So he's coming back down to the southeast, I guess. It's cold up there. I don't blame him if that's the reason. But yeah, it's almost like a flight tracker. I feel like while you're talking in my head, I'm looking and I'm thinking of this map with airplanes flying everywhere. It's like, here's where the guy's going to try to get one more chance to start at quarterback before that's over, and he's got to go sell insurance like me. It's none of that's quite as juicy and salacious as the Justin Fields, De'Aaron King, even to an extent, your boy Tate Martell. These are just kind of retreads.
Why is he my boy? Because I called him.
You love Tate Martell
for transferring because he lost his job.
You love just getting a waiver no matter where you go, just free to go play wherever you want. You don't have to sit out at all. Things are tough.
Good luck keeping more than two quarterbacks is the moral of the story here as we continue to look at the transfers that are happening in college football. It's so difficult to fill out your roster and to have your numbers where they're supposed to be or even close to where they're supposed to be. You're going to have guys leave. It's not only at the quarterback position, as we've seen the last couple of days. Chris Curry wore 18 at LSU. He transferred to Utah, right? So, I mean, you've got all kinds of guys transferring and are now at other places. And there's a lot of people in this transfer portal hunt that don't have a landing spot, as we know that. So numbers are so difficult to keep up with in college football, and it won't be the last that we talk about the transfer portal because it's always something going on.
It's the new world, and we're not going back, so just get used to it.
All right, we're going to take a break here. When we come back, Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network will join us to talk college football, the situation going on at Tennessee, and much more here on Hangin with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richard Honda.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
Happy New Year from Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. You can get into a new Camry for $335 a month with only $2,000 down, or choose from our pre-owned selection. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas. Happy Town, US.
Join us for a Wednesday edition of Jimmy Yacht's Game Time, live from Snow, Seafood, and Steak in Gonzales. We recap LSU basketball's big game against Alabama and look ahead to the rest of the week. Come out and see us or tune in at 6 p.m. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda, here with Hunt Palmer on a Wednesday afternoon. Going to be joined now by our guy Cole Cubelic, SEC Network, ESPN. Cole, what's up, my man? How are you?
Hey, doing great, Jake. How are you guys?
Glad to have you on. Doing well. And I want to know if you figured out if you were going to get airdropped into a den of hippos or not. Have you chose which team that you think can win a national title yet, or are you going into the den of hippos?
It's amazing the amount of context that was lost in this entire thing. I got people that are mad at me, like, Alabama won a title in '92. Why are they not in there?
Oh, boy.
kind of like, well, the exercise kind of loses its point there.
It does.
Buddy, if we subtract him. But, we also could have added a couple other teams, but I didn't feel like Miami would be very easy either. I mean, most people are just going to go that direction. But I just thought it was interesting when you look at, these teams that won a title in the 90s, like Tennessee, like Nebraska, like Michigan, like Washington, Georgia Tech, Colorado. It doesn't really feel like any of them are very close, to be perfectly honest with you. But if I had to go one, I think Washington might be the way that I would go, and it's even difficult for me to make myself believe that, to be perfectly honest with you. But they have the Pac-12, and as strong as Oregon was supposed to be this year, and then they didn't look that great. USC, I think Clay Helton has kind of ascended to the Gus Malzahn spot as the USC head football coach, where it doesn't really matter what he does. It's not going to be long before people are saying he's probably going to lose his job anyway. So, there's obviously some uncertainty moving forward there. But I think the easy pick is Florida State. But Jacob, I think people just immediately forget about how bad things have been in Tallahassee, and people look at it and say, "Oh, you got all this talent around you," and obviously, you can go in there and you can recruit, and they have success. They won a title in 2013. Look how recent that was, and I think people just immediately forget about they're a team that didn't win a lot of games this year and didn't win a lot of games the year before, and people completely look past that. So I'm not going to take a team that won 3 games this year and say, oh, I think they're next in line to go win a national championship. I'm not going to take a team that 2 years ago, only went out and won, I think, 6 games and say that I think they're next in line to go win a national championship. I can't go for that.
I looked at these teams and I started to think, okay, well, Florida State makes sense because of the, where they're at and the recruiting that they can have done, and the facilities have gotten better. They're still not, the best in the country. And I started to talk about, maybe Michigan, because heck, they'll throw all the money at their teams. Cole, I mean, they had spring practice in Rome, for God's sakes, right? So they'll spend the money, but they've got juggernauts in front of them. They've got Clemson, they've got Ohio State. And so for me, I chose Washington, and they've been to the playoff in 2017. I think that the Pac-12 is wide open right now. Now, to get there and to win it, that's 2 different conversations. But am I crazy for choosing Washington here?
I don't think so. I think Jimmy Lake's shown that obviously he's great as a coordinator. I think he's got some upside as a collegiate head coach. And he could be a guy that sort of leads you there. You're right about having been in the playoffs, so they understand that there is a roadmap for them to be able to get there. Now, that semifinal game against Alabama wasn't competitive, so you're going to have some things that look very different if you're going to advance or maybe win a title. But still, I think based on how they've recruited, the way that thing is sort of teed up, the recent success, and the coaching staff that's there, I'd be right there with you.
All right, so obviously I've got to ask you about the situation going on in Knoxville. Jeremy Pruitt out as head coach. Philip Fulmer decides to retire as athletic director. Kevin Steele is now the interim head coach there. I mean, Cole, where can you see them going? It just seems incredibly messy right now in Knoxville.
Yeah, because it is. And I think the first thing you have to do when you begin to project forward, I think Kevin Steele is going to end up getting a shot this year. I don't know how much further out that's going to go. I don't know if this is if this is a tryout, if we're going to try to see you as the head coach past this season. But who's going to take it, Jacob? I mean, you think about not only the NCAA issues that are coming down. The thing that boggles my mind more than anything else in this entire Tennessee situation are the people who will so confidently tell you that roster is ready to go win right now. And I'll challenge anybody to tweet me, call a show that I'm on. Let's have a conversation about who's really scary on that football team. I mean, yeah, I think Eric Gray's a good tailback, but there are people that say they think he's leaving. To'o is a guy they had to fly to California to try to re-recruit onto the roster. There's not a lot of big-time guys. Hendon Hooker did some nice things as a quarterback at Virginia Tech. We haven't seen him in that system. We haven't seen him in this league. So I think the people that believe that this roster could allow them to go win 9 or 10 games next year are just lost, even the next year. And I know the portal can help you upgrade your talent very quickly, but not to the point that I would expect that they're going to compete with Florida and Georgia and, hell, even Missouri I mean, we did an exercise on my show in Birmingham today. Like, what teams are you in the SEC? Are you taking Tennessee's roster over? Vanderbilt's obvious. I think South Carolina would probably be obvious, even though you got Kevin Harris, but they lost a bunch of dudes to the portal. I think when you get to Missouri, you start to really debate it. And I might sit there and say, man, you get Connor Bazelak. I'll take him. I'll take my chances with everything else. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss, you got Matt Corral. You got some skill. Ole Miss will have a better offensive line than Tennessee will next year.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's wild. So I think you're talking about maybe three teams. I mean, Arkansas, Tennessee doesn't have a Treylon Burks. They do not have a guy. If you're putting Tennessee and Arkansas neck and neck, the most talented player on both of those teams, he plays at Arkansas. His name's Treylon Burks. The most talented guy, just the most God-given ability, who's going to go the highest in the draft. So, I mean, we're talking about maybe two teams in the league that you would take their roster over, but I got people on radio shows and on Twitter and other places I had two people on my show this week that cover Tennessee that say, oh, this roster's in great shape. You can go win right now. No, you can't. Not with those guys. And I'm not trying to put the kids down, but it's just it's not what people think. This is the 1990. This is the late 90s Alabama mentality, early 2000s Alabama mentality. When everybody thought the roster was in good shape just because it was Alabama. Everybody thinks the roster's in good shape just because it's Tennessee. So you look at the roster, you look at the NCAA stuff. They have the university has financial issues. I understand that the Haslams can step in and say, okay, what do you need? You need 50 for 4 years? All right, we can make that happen. Whatever. I mean, whatever it is. If they want to, so that means it's their choice. But are you going to be guaranteed the time? I mean, people are talking about Gus Malzahn for this job. If I'm Gus Malzahn, I want at least 5 years of guaranteed money, and I want a $50 million buyout. Sorry. I mean, I don't have to take it. But that's what they're going to have to do. And I just don't know who's going to come in and take that when most other teams, I mean, Kentucky's trending up, Missouri's trending up, Georgia's trending up. I don't think Florida trends too far down. I mean, Vanderbilt didn't win a game last year, so you'd have to assume they're probably trending up. I mean, I like their quarterback. So I don't know, man. It seems like a really tough deal. And then on top of that, by the way, you just had an administration pull some sort of a ruse to get your head coach fired. Like, this was an inside job. Let's not forget about that. So I'm supposed to go in here to a place that just essentially rigged a investigation to get the coach fired? Come on. I mean, every other school that we've seen in the history of college football that has some sort of a NCAA issue, they're at least putting up a front like they're going to put up a fight. Like, they're bringing their lawyers out. They're making statements. Tennessee's bowing down, firing the coach. I don't want to go be a part of that.
Hey, and I agree with you. I completely agree with you. Where their expectation level is, what just happened there, and all the challenges.
We didn't get into the fans.
No, I mean, that's not even a part. I mean, that rock changes colors every single day with a different name on it. Like, that's a part of who they are and what they want to be, right? And so where do they go from here? Is Kevin Steele going to be the next John L. Smith and be the interim coach for a year? Is he going to get the full-time job? Are they going to go hire someone and fire him or put him back to where he was as a defensive assistant? Like, where are they going to go?
I think it's Kevin Steele for this year because I don't know who else you could get. And then I even would worry about what kind of staff could Kevin Steele put together. Apparently they haven't lifted the hiring freezes for him to go even add assistants. So the big loser in all of this are the players on that team. Because this university, this school, this athletic department knew what it was doing months ago. So they have dragged that entire team through all of this, and they continue to push back the realistic future date of when they have a chance to be competitive. But they've allowed kids to transfer in. They've allowed kids to say they're not going to the NFL. They've allowed kids to not transfer out, yet they knew exactly what was going on, that they were about to sabotage the next 2 or 3 seasons just to get a guy out and not pay him his buyout. So if you don't think that money is a concern, think about a team, a faction that's going to the lengths that they are to save $12.3 million.
Right.
Because we all just think that these SEC teams have like their $100 bill gun and they're just, shooting them all over campus. Well, if that was the case, don't you just pull it out and just pull the trigger a few times and say, get out of our way? I mean, obviously, that wasn't the case for these people.
Cole, I mean, we could sit here honestly, and you know this, we could talk about Tennessee for the full 15 minutes because there's so many different branches to that tree. But while we have you, I do want to ask you, one, about LSU's offensive coordinator and passing game coordinator moves, and also maybe your thoughts as to why they have not, yet found that defensive coordinator. And I know there's different reasons. Marcus Freeman goes to Notre Dame. Ryan Nielsen gets blocked by the Saints there. Kind of where do you think they turn now?
I don't think that the defensive coordinator hire is as critical. I think that's one you can be patient with because you have a head coach that's served on that side of the ball that understands it, and the staff probably leans that way a little bit. So I think you can sort of offset that to an extent. I think that you'll probably see the defensive side of things go to a similar way that the offensive side did, and that is taking a little bit of a chance, a little bit of a flyer on someone who might not have as much experience but very well thought of. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe one of these NFL linebacker coaches come in to be the DC. I think it's always a good move because you understand all three levels of the defense, and a guy that's kind of hungry, wants to prove himself. Offensively, I think I like the moves. I think they're good because I believe that they were run through Joe Brady and vetted through Joe Brady, who obviously came in and had a ton of success. So you're kind of going down that path, going down that route where you have the personnel that understands how to do it that way because Ensminger didn't get far away from it. And you got the guys in play. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you, Jacob. I don't really care who the OC is. I mean, you got your quarterback, maybe even two quarterbacks who can legitimately play. I think running back's going to be okay. I don't think it's elite. I think the wide receiver position is extremely deep and elite. You're good at tight end. Should be pretty deep there. Offensive line's got a lot of experience coming back, especially in the middle of that group. So, I mean, just come in and kind of do what they've been doing and continue to sort of walk down the path that they've been walking. And now they all have more experience, and now they all have a little bit more confidence. So I'm good with the LSU OC hires, quarterback coach hires. I think they're right in line with what Coach O wants. And I think the DC hire is going to be interesting, fun to watch because we talk about the talent offensively. There's talent on defense too. I mean, you got two big-time pass rushers in Olajari and Gay. You got the best corner in college football. You got another corner that can cover. You got a couple interior guys that played some pretty good ball. So, I mean, I would love to get my hands on those guys and go coordinate that defense and be able to work with the talent that they have on that side of the ball.
Hey, I did want to ask you an offensive line question before we let you go, and you mentioned the offensive line. You get all of those guys back. You get Derek Rosenthal at left tackle. You get Ed Ingram. You get Liam Shanahan. You get Chasen Hines, and you get Austin Deculus back. So your entire offensive line is coming back, and that was so crucial for LSU because you and I have talked about this, Cole. When you look at the recruiting and you only get 2 offensive linemen and your numbers are low there, it's almost something that you had to have happen, but you didn't know if it was actually going to happen. So how big is that for LSU? Because I know all experience isn't great experience if it comes back, if they struggle, but how big of a deal is that for you?
I think it's big because it's sort of the building block with a younger quarterback who I believe will start, that you'll be able to get away with a little bit more. You can probably add a little bit more, put a little bit more on them, and then still finding a way to run the football. We saw the LSU quarterback, whoever it was last year, was 5 times better when they were having success on the ground. So it doesn't matter how talented the receivers are or quarterback is or how well they move or how accurate they throw the ball. When that ground game's going, they were totally different. And I think you got to find that first. You got to have that first, and that's going to open it up to give you the matchups that you want, and that's going to open it up for you to be able to do the different things that you want through the passing game, play action, RPO, whatever it is, when the ground game's going. So having those guys back to be able to really begin the process of being a team that knows how to run the football, can run the football when they want, is going to be big for the LSU offense.
All right, he is Cole Cubelic, does a fantastic job on the SEC Network, on ESPN, daily there on Jocks. Cole, we always appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks, Jacob. Look forward to catching up soon, man.
All right, there he is, Cole Cubelic, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes this afternoon. All right, we'll take our last break of the show. Of course, when we come back, we're going to finish it like we do every single day with Ask Us, brought to you by Cole Coors Light. That and more when we hop back here. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we're brought to you by Gotro's Outdoor Power. Of course, 2 locations here in the Baton Rouge area. Baton Rouge Airline at Industriaplex, in Gonzales Airline at 74. Go to the showroom today to find your next piece of Skag Power equipment. We tell you all the time they have something for everyone. No matter what you're looking for, commercial or residential, they've got you covered. If you're not in the area, if you're listening to us up in Shreveport or watching us across the state on CST, go to GoTroSOutdoorPower.com, click on new equipment, go to the Skag section of the website there. You'll find it 0% for 60 months, now available for all models. You just click on the Shop Skag Inventory. It's going to pull up everything they have available. Why is that important? Because it's free delivery across the state of Louisiana, from Shreveport to Monroe, from Monroe to Lake Charles to New Orleans, and everywhere in between. Free delivery to your doorstep. Again, check out the website, GoTroSOutdoorPower.com. That's GoTros. We make it easy.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Terrio with Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you've got to come see us for the New Year's Certified Pre-Owned event. CPO vehicles come with an unlimited mileage warranty, and right now we're offering a 2-month payment credit up to $1,500, as well as 1.99% for 36 months on all eligible models. Check them out at mbobr.com or go see my guys Nick and Hess to take your new year up a gear. See dealer for complete details and exclusions. Qualified customers only. Subject credit approval by NBFS. Must take delivery by March 1st, 2021.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Musso. Join us for Thursdays Off the Bench. Chef Michael Johnson will stop by to answer all your munchie questions. We look at the Saints' salary cap heading into 2021, and Jarrett Roser stops by to talk recruiting. Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, presented by Richards Honda here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 1130 AM, Tiger and Cox Sports Television. It is now time for Ask Us, brought to you by Coors Light. Make sure that you enjoy the game tonight with a Coors Light, Blue Moon Light Sky, Citrus Wheat, Vizzy Seltzer, all official drinks here of Hanging with Hester and Hanny, you know I will be doing the same. All right, ask us, which movie do you stop on every single time, no matter where you pick up on it? I am going to go the first one that popped into my head. There's two that popped into my head right at the same time. Back to the Future and Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris is one for me. The other one I did it last night. Forrest Gump was one, and just can't.
It's so
stop.
long. I mean, you can.
Oh, it's 3 to 4 hours of your day.
You can pick up on it for sure.
Night.
All right, Paul.
The Fast and Furious movies.
Any 72 of them?
Any one of them.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, I'm not going to hate on you. A lot of people asking about Eli Ricks, and do we have any news there? Look, I do not. I know that that's been circling around Twitter. I don't have any information on that. In fact, I've been so LSU DC heavy and trying to figure out that and digging into that I hadn't even really dug into Eli Ricks. I have not heard from anyone around the program that that's something that is happening right now. So I've seen you ask, but honestly, true story, don't know. Ask us, favorite holiday. I mean, obviously the big ones are the big ones, but like when you start talking about some of the secondary holidays, St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, my man. Look at there. Paul?
Christmas is the best holiday.
I said take the big ones
we're
out.
We're going the secondary.
Oh, secondary?
I said secondary.
How does 4th of July?
It's a pretty big one, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, Memorial Day is awesome. It's the selection show. It's warm outside. I play in a golf tournament that weekend usually.
Okay.
Got to be the best.
I'm going to go New Year's.
New Year's is a bust.
Ooh.
I feel like everybody's trying to do something. There's set menus everywhere. There's cover charges if you're younger. Could be tough.
Where'd you go?
I had a phone call. It took a lot of time.
Just thought you didn't like cold Cubelic.
Some people are fairly inefficient in their phone calls, and just there can be information sent back and forth a little more quickly than what just happened, but it's okay.
All right. Ask us, best sports movie.
Caddyshack.
Major League.
Very good.
I mean, I'm a Remember the Titans guy. So
Very good. You know what I actually really liked?
I don't like
I've
football
told you this.
movies, but
I liked this when they made me watch during the pandemic. Cinderella Man, I thought was good.
Oh, that's a good one. That
one was good.
Of non-comedy sports movies, that's my one. I knew what was going to happen at the end. Like I knew the outcome, and I still was on the edge of my seat. Like I knew the true story.
I did not, so it was good.
Yeah. Paul?
I'm going to go Moneyball.
It's a good one. Got a funny story about Moneyball. So I had my off-season house in Shreveport, right? We're living in San Diego, but we had a townhome in South Shreveport.
See, most people do the San Diego and Shreveport thing. It's a very common dual residence.
Yeah. So we bought a townhome in Shreveport, and I put movie speakers into the wall, right? And I'm a big surround sound guy. Didn't think about it being a townhome though, and so we turn on Moneyball, and we're watching it on the projection screen, the projector there. And my neighbor, it's like 11 o'clock at night, comes and knocks on the door. It's like, so, excuse me, it's really loud. Are y'all watching Moneyball? I was devastated. I'm like, what do I do? So from then on, we had to basically keep it at a low level.
I think Moneyball is a good movie. It's just wrong.
Why is it wrong?
Because they don't talk about Zito, Hudson, and Mulder.
That's true.
You don't go on a 20-game win streak without 3 aces in your rotation. I'm sorry, Scott Hatteberg didn't carry him to the wild card round.
He was pretty good.
Jeremy Giambi, Zito, Hudson, and Mulder, pretty decent. Let's mention them in the movie.
I mean, they weren't bad. They were pretty good. Hey, do you have the chat pulled up there?
I do.
All right, ask the next question because I'm entering.
Ask us foundation raffle.
I'm doing it right now. That's why I'm getting you to do it. I've literally got 5 more names to put into the raffle, and so you've got to carry the show for about another minute.
Ask us, is Ed Reed's halftime speech at Miami one of the best of all time? Definitely one of the best of all time. Don't ask me. I'm hurt, man. That video of all the college football, that montage ESPN put together when Ed Reed's speech is in it, that thing will get you in the feels.
I was terrified having to block Ed Reed on punt.
How do you think it would go if I tried to block Ed Reed on a punt? Ask Jacob. How would it go if Hunt Palmer tried to block Ed Reed on a punt?
It wouldn't go well. In fact, it would go very, very poorly. You would get no hands on him. Not one single touch of his jersey.
I don't know. I'm pretty physical at the line of scrimmage, the point of attack.
No, you're not. Almost done.
I'm
Keep
really
asking.
not. Let's see. He's talking about a movie. Let's see. Mentioned that excellent work in Moneyball by Eric Chavez, who also was in the movie as well. So yeah, I got you. But how about Zito, Hudson, and Mulder? They were pretty good. Seafood gumbo or chicken and sausage gumbo? I'm chicken and sausage all day.
Actually,
Gotta
I like
be.
duck and sausage, but
Did we do any of these?
Nope.
Let's see. That's best sports movie. So we're always there. Hunt thinks the foot wedge is a golf club. Not true. Don't cheat in golf, people. We're trying to play a sport. Don't quit cheating. You raffling stuff off over there?
I'm about to. All right, you ready to put it on the screen? We got about 30 seconds, Paul. Here we go. The wheel is already spinning, Paul. You better hurry. You better. Oh, good job, Paul.
Good job, Paul. When does it start?
Chris Hill. Congratulations, Chris Hill. Neck Nick was almost the winner. Did y'all see that? It almost stopped on Neck Nick. Man, Chris Hill, you barely beat our guy Neck Nick. Congratulations. Thanks for your support of the Hester Sports Foundation. The next one is coming very soon. Congrats, Chris Hill.
Hangin' with Hester.
Here's a great way to start the new year, saving lots of money, because Richards Honda has 0% financing. 0% on some of your favorite Honda models. And with Richards Honda transparent pricing, there are no add-ons or hidden fees. When we give you a price, that's the price you pay. Transparent pricing and 0% financing must be why smart customers